I hope the screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Don't worry. I'll send you, Swaraj. I'll send the question bank to you all on both Google Classroom as well as on WhatsApp also. Don't worry. Even question bank for theory as well as MCQ. I'll send.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What I wanted to do. Okay. So we are discussing Z transforms. We have discussed the basic things, preliminaries required to Z transforms. What is the preliminary required to Z transform? The sequences and their convergence, right? We have discussed when the sequences and the corresponding series are going to converge, isn't it? Especially we have discussed for the geometric series, right? When the geometric series is convergent, if its mod of common ratio is less than 1, then only the geometric series is going to converge. Otherwise, it will be divergent. And based on that, our Z transform will exist, isn't it? That Z transform, which is a infinite summation, will exist only if what? That summation is convergent or the series is convergent. Okay, that is what the existence of Z transform we have discussed. Then after that, we have discussed the region of convergence and all, and then we have discussed the properties and the standard theorems on Z transforms. A few theorems I think we have discussed up to the initial and final value theorem, isn't it? Final value theorem. One more, two more theorems are there. One is partial sum, because if we have Z transform of f of k is f of z, then Z transform of this partial sum. Partial sum means what? Sum of finite terms is called partial sum. If we have infinite series, and from that infinite series, if we collect some finite terms and if we add them, then that is called a partial sum. If I can call it as a Sn. Sn means sum of first n terms of the sequence. If it is S1, then sum of first term. If it is S2, then sum of first two terms. That means S1 plus S2 or A1 plus A2, like this. So if I consider Sn, then sum of first n term is called a partial partial sequence. Okay. So for the partial sequence, if we have a partial sum, that is sum of those first n terms, then Z transform of that partial sum will be fz upon 1 minus z raised to minus 1. Okay. Here the proof is, I'm not going to discuss the proof, but you should know that sum of Z transform of partial sum is fz upon 1 minus z raised to minus 1. Then the next is convolution theorem. Now convolution means what? Convolution, the word meaning is mixing of something. So convolution of two function is the mixing of two functions. How we are going to mix the two functions? In terms of integration. Convolution is a special type of integration actually. Uh, let me discuss on the board what is meant by convolution. I hope the board is visible. Okay, so if I say f of t, if I have f of k, say f of k of course, and g of k, the two functions, then the convolution of these two functions is denoted by like this: f of t, f of k star g of k. Okay, and that is defined as an integration from 0 to t. Okay, f of say k, f of t into g of t minus u du. All right, this is the definition of convolution. Or इसको मैं ऐसे I can change the role of f and t, f and g here. I can write this the same as 0 to t, g of t and f of t minus u du. So this is the definition of convolution. Okay, So the convolution of two function is nothing but a special type of integral. Okay, and if I want to find the Z transform of this convolution, then what does it mean? Or how to get the Z transform? See, Z transform of convolution means Z transform of integration, right? Z transform of this integration or Z transform of this integration. Okay, since I have changed the role of f and t here, f and g here, so this I can denote it as a g of t or g of k, I can say g of k star f of k. So what I can say from this? I can say f star g is same as g star f. So convolution is commutative always. Commutativity satisfied by convolution. So convolution is commutative. All right. So here the theorem is, if I have the convolution of two functions and if I want to find the Z transform of their convolution, that is f star g, okay, then this Z transform is nothing but Z product of their separate Z transform. So as I know, the Z transform of f of k will be equals to what? Some function of Z, right? And Z transform of this g of k will be what? Some function of Z. I'll denote them as a capital F and capital G, right? So the convolution of, Z transform of their convolution is nothing but the product of their Z transform, that is f of Z into g of Z. That is what this property says. So Z transform of convolution is same as the product of Z transforms, remember. Is that clear? Z transform of convolution is the product of Z transforms. Okay, and the proof is given here. I'm not going to discuss the proof. You can see the proof later, and if you feel any doubt, you can ask me later. So this is the Z transform of convolution. Okay, now let us discuss the Z transforms of some standard sequences. See here, before discussing the Z transform, let me tell you that these standard functions or standard functions we are going to use as a tool. Remember, these Z transforms we are going to use as a tool to get the Z transforms of some complicated sequences, isn't it? So either the proof of this Z transform will be asked in exam, or the questions based on these tools, these Z transforms will be asked in final exam, remember. So you should know, if it is the first unit impulse function, then you should know what is the Z transform of unit impulse function directly, is it? So what is the basic definition of unit impulse function? That is denoted by delta k, and that gives the value 1 when k is 0, and otherwise it gives the value 0, isn't it? You can see the graph of unit impulse function. If I consider the whole real line, then at 0 it takes the value 1, otherwise it will be 0 flat. Okay, so at 0 it is taking a pulse or impulse, I can say. So unit impulse function. Unit, why it is unit? Because the length is 1, length of that step impulse is 1, height, I can say height. Okay. So while getting the Z transform of this unit impulse function, I'm using the definition, basic definition. You can see here the definition of Z transform kya hota hai? Z transform of f of k is summation, infinite summation f of k z raised to minus k, k from minus infinity to infinity, isn't it? So since the given function, unit impulse function, is defined in negative, positive, and at 0, isn't it? So accordingly, we have splitted the interval here from minus infinity to infinity. Okay, here it is not necessary to split the interval also, because at 0 only the function is taking one value, otherwise it will be 0. So if I start to split the summation from minus infinity to infinity, then minus infinity, then the number before minus infinity like this up to minus 1, all are 0, right? And at 0, delta k will take a value 1. You can see here. is not proper. Let me write on the board. See, the Z transform of delta K will be equals to, someone is waiting. Z transform of delta K will be equals to infinite summation delta K Z raised to minus K. K varies from minus infinity to infinity. That is the basic definition of Z transform. Okay. Now delta K is defined is 1 when K is 0 and 0 otherwise when K is negative and K is positive. Alright. So when I start to split the summation at minus infinity, suppose what is the value of delta K? 0. Then before minus infinity, 0, 0, 0. So 0 into Z raised to minus K will be 0 only. So 0 plus and so on. At minus infinity, sorry, at minus 1 also it will be 0. Plus at 0, this delta K is what? 1. Isn't it? So 1 into Z raised to minus K, that I am writing here, Z raised to minus K. Okay. And plus again at 1 is positive, right? K equal to 1 is positive, and at positive delta K is taking 0 value. So all are 0. Okay. So that is nothing but what? Z raised to minus K. Something. Just okay. I'm sorry. This summation is over K only. So this will be Z raised to 0, right? At K. So 1 into Z raised to 0. This is Z raised to minus 1. This is Z raised to minus 1 into minus 1. This will be 1. Here it will be minus 1 and so on. So here Z raised to 0, that means 1 only. So that is equals to 1. So Z transform of unit impulse function is 1 only. Okay. So that you always have to remember, Z transform of unit impulse function is always 1. So you should know the basic definition of unit impulse function for that. Maybe in competitive examinations, it will be asked to prove in the interviews what is the Z transform of delta K and why and how. So you should know. But here we are going to use this Z transform as a tool to solve the examples. So Z transform of delta K is 1. Always remember. Now the next function is discrete step function. You can see discrete step function. The definition of discrete step function, it is denoted by u of k. Is it visible here?
No, sir. Get little down.
Okay. And here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So u of k is defined to be 0 for k negative, and it is 1 for k greater than or equal to 0. So this is a kind of causal sequence, right? Because what is the definition of causal sequence? It gives 0 for all negative positions, right? And it gives non-zero for all non-negative positions. So this is just a causal sequence. So the Z transform of u of k will be equals to infinite summation u of k Z raised to minus k. So if I start to split the summation, then for all negative, this summation gives the value 0, because 0 into Z raised to minus k will be 0. Plus for Z start from 0 to infinity, u of k gives the value 1. So 1 into Z raised to minus k I can write here. The summation k from 0 to infinity u of k Z raised to minus k. So what is the value of u of k there? U of k is 1. So Z raised to minus k. Summation k from 0 to infinity Z raised to minus k. Now you can split this summation. So at Z k equal to 0, it will be 1. plus at k equals to 1, it will be z raised to minus 1 plus z raised to at k equals to 2, it will be z raised to minus 2. तो minus 2 को मैं कैसे लिखूंगा? z raised to minus 1 का square plus z raised to minus 1 का cube plus and so on, isn't it? And if you look at this will be a geometric series with the common ratio what? This will be a geometric series with a common ratio z raised to minus 1, isn't it? And we all know that this geometric series is converged only if mod of common ratio less than 1, right? So this will be equals to its limit. What will be the limit of this geometric series? It is first term, which is 1 here, upon 1 minus common ratio. What is the common ratio here?
1
Z
by z.
raised to minus 1, isn't it? And provided that the mod of that common ratio must be less than 1. This is very important. Region of convergence it is called, ROC. So let us simplify this. So what it will be? This will be 1 by z. So z minus 1 upon z will be z upon z minus 1, provided that this 1 upon z is less than 1. So I'll try to write the condition on mod z. So mod z will be greater than 1, isn't it? And that will be a required z transform. Z transform of z transform of discrete function. Or this can be a step function, unit step function, isn't it? Because if you look at the graph of this, how the graph will be like, at negative positions, at all negative positions, it will take a 0 value, and at all positive positions, positive means non-negative actually, because we are including 0 here. So at all non-negative positions, it will take a value 1. So the graph is just like a step. So it is called a step function, isn't it? And step of length 1. So that is why unit step function. All right. So is there any doubt with this Z transform of unit step function?
No, sir.
All right. So the next, so this will be a tool, remember. You should know the Z transform of unit step function is Z upon Z minus A in the range of mod Z greater than 1. You can ask me later if you have a doubt. Now the next is f of k equals to a raised to k. For k greater than or equal to 0 or k non-negative.
सर कॉजल सीक्वेंस में 0 भी ले सकते क्या?
नहीं, 0 कहाँ?
मतलब उसका वैल्यू समथिंग आता है ना, मतलब फॉर नॉन नेगेटिव, फॉर उसमें 0 कंसीडर कर सकते क्या?
हाँ कर सकते.
ओके
कॉजल सीक्वेंस में क्या बोला है? ओनली नेगेटिव पोजीशंस पे बोला है. There is no discussion on positive positions. What are the values, isn't it? So, but definitely on negative positions, the value of the sequence will be 0. Okay. So
Yes,
the 0 sequence can be a causal sequence. Am I clear?
ओके सर. यस यस सर.
Okay. So the next is, let me check the boundaries to write. Actually, I'm unable to see. Is it okay here?
सर लिमिट डाउन.
Yeah. All right. So, what is the sequence given? Third, f of k is
सर थोड़ा नीचे लिखो.
a to the power k. नीचे लिखो. Is it okay now? F of k is a to the power k for k non-negative. Is it okay, Ayush?
यस सर.
Okay. So now let me hide the steps. Okay. That may gives the mirror image. All right. So let us find the Z transform of this. So what is the basic definition of Z transform? Z transform of f of k will be equals to the infinite sum. But do I need to write the infinite sum here? As my k is given only in non-negative part, So I don't need to write the infinite, but I'll suggest to write the first step as a basic definition. So k will vary from minus infinity to infinity, f of k z raised to minus k. That is the basic definition of z transform. And now let us use the k given. K is given to be non-negative only. So I can write this summation only for non-negative part. That is k varies from 0 to infinity, and f of k is given to be a to the power k z raised to minus k. Is it clear with this step? All right. So I can combine this power by using the laws of indices, like a into z raised to minus 1 the whole raised to minus 1 the whole raised to k. And now I can split the summation over this k. So for k equal to 0, it is 1, plus for k equals to 1, this will be a z raised to minus 1. For k equals to 2, a z raised to minus 1 ka square, plus and so on. Now you can ask why I'm taking this power combinedly, because it will be simplified, or it will be easy to get the common ratio here. That is why. If you take these terms as it is, and if we vary the summation, then you may confused that for k equal to 0, okay, that will be 1, but for k equals to 1, that will be a z raised to minus 1. Then for k equals to 2, that will be a square z raised to minus 2. Isn't it? So you may confused that what should be the common ratio there. So in this case, there will be no confusion, isn't it? You can see what will be the common ratio here. Common ratio is a z raised to minus 1, or a by z, I can say, isn't it? And we all know that this will be a geometric series, and that will be converge to first term upon 1 minus common ratio within the range of mod of common ratio a z raised to minus 1 less than 1. All right. So let us simplify this. So this will be a by z. So that means when I cross multiply by taking LCM, z minus a by z, so that will be z upon z minus a. And what will the simplified region here? That will be mod of a by z. So mod z is greater than mod a. Okay. So always remember now that actually we are going to use this as a tool. Okay. This will be a formula actually. This is a standard basic function, that z transform of a raised to k for k non-negative will be always z upon z minus a, provided that the range of convergence is mod z greater than mod a. This is very important. Remember why it is important, because in the previous pattern, in 2015 pattern, there were questions on this, like they have changed the value of a, and they have asked to find the value of z transform of 2 raised to k. So what will be z transform of 2 raised to k? We just have to replace a by 2. That will be z upon z minus 2. No need to use the basic definition also. So the option will be z upon z minus 2, z upon z minus 1 by 2. Okay. One of the option will be z upon z minus 2 when mod z is greater than mod 2 is 2, mod z is greater than 2. Then one of the option will be z upon z minus 2 when mod z is less than 2. So you should know that when k is non-negative, that mod z is always greater than mod a. Or you can remember by geometrical visualization also, because this will be the exterior of the circle, right, with the radius mod a. So what we can say, in non-negative part, the z transform will exist in exterior of the circle with radius a, isn't it? In non-negative part of the sequence, z transform will exist in only this part of the region, exterior part. This is exterior, is it? And if it is less, then that will be interior. Clear? Please ask if any doubt for non-negative part. Is there any doubt? You can
No,
comment. Okay, the next one is negative now. Can you try now for negative? That is the fourth. And tell me what should be the answer. Yes. f of k is given to be a raised to k when k is negative. Just try to get the Z transform of this. Apply the basic definition and tell me what is the Z transform of this. First, everyone. Az upon 1 minus Az, Tanmay says. Okay. Let us see the others reply too. I'm not going to scroll down. I'm giving you 2 minutes. Write your answer in chat box. Ayush, can you tell me that is there any difference between the others videos and this video in visualization? Because I have changed the settings actually from 360.
Sir,
Huh?
what happens means when you are simultaneously writing on the board,
Mhm.
your presentation is on. So the whatever you are writing is seen in a small window, so we can't see it. So while writing, you should stop presenting, I suggest.
Okay, okay, okay. No, no, but I'm saying uh, in point of clarity, because I've changed the what should I say, the high definition from 360 to 720. So is there any difference?
Sir, no, actually, this video is your webcam is looking a bit blurry this lecture.
Oh,
Previously, it was good. I think it haven't switched to webcam.
it is. It is. This is actually the laptop camera. This is webcam. Now just check. I'll switch to 360p. I don't know what is the difference. Just check now, Ayush.
Yeah, better, sir. Sir, it will get stable with time.
Okay. So that should be 360 only. Come on, tell me your answers. Aishwarya says, sir, video is blur. Okay. Now is it okay, Aishwarya? I've changed the settings again. Okay, fine. Mahesh says the Z transform is Z upon Z minus A. Prajwal, Z transform is Z upon A minus Z provided mod Z is less than mod A. Okay. Tanmay says Z transform is AZ upon 1 minus AZ. Okay. Only four replies.
सर वो लिमिट -1 तक आएगा ना, -∞ to -1.
Minus infinity to minus 1, right? And then for our convenience to split that summation, we can switch that negative to positive, isn't it? By putting minus k is equal to minus r, or k equal to minus r. Okay, so that minus k will switch to positive. That is, k varies from minus infinity to minus 1. So if I substitute k equal to minus r, then r will be positive. You can check. R will vary from 1 to infinity or infinity to 1. This is how you have to do for negative part. Always. This is always. Abhijit says Z transform is Z upon A minus Z for K negative. Mod Z is less than mod A. Okay. Z upon Z minus A. Prathamesh, Z upon A minus Z. Okay, now check your answer. I'm solving on the board. So Z transform of this we have asked to find. So let us use the basic definition. Z transform of
सर तन्मय वाला बरोबर आहे.
okay, let us see. Z transform of A raised to K for K negative will be equals to summation, first of all, K from minus infinity to minus 1. Directly I'm writing now. I'm not going to write the basic definition, okay? Because we have given only negative case. And f of k is given to be A raised to K, Z raised to minus K. Is it okay with the basic definition? If anybody have the doubt, please get it clear by asking or by solving few more examples. So, okay. So, let us combine the power summation A Z raised to minus 1 raised to K, and K varies from
minus infinity to minus
1. So, let us now see, we cannot vary this summation in negative part, isn't it? We don't know what is the K at minus infinity. What is the value of this? Okay, how to substitute K equal to minus infinity here, isn't it? We don't know. So, let us convert these negatives to positive positions. So, how? Is it visible here?
bit.
Do I stop sharing so that it will be clear? Okay. Yeah. Now check. Okay. So for K equals to minus R, now check the limits. This is K and this is converted R. So the limits of K are, for K equals to minus infinity, R will be minus, R का value क्या हो गया? Minus K ना? If K equal to minus R, then R will be minus K. So for K equals to minus infinity, R will be infinity. And for K equals to minus 1, R will be 1. Is it okay? So let us substitute into summation. Therefore, Z transform of A raised to K is equals to summation R from infinity to 1, A Z raised to minus 1 raised to minus 1. Okay, because I have substituted K equals to minus R. It is minus R. So that is equals to summation R from 1 to infinity. Let us take this minus 1 inside, isn't it? So A raised to minus 1, Z raised to minus 1 raised to minus 1 will be Z only, na? Minus 1 into minus 1, 1. A raised to minus 1 Z raised to R. So now let us split the summation from 1 to infinity. So at R is equal to 1, that will be A raised to minus 1 Z, or I can write Z by A, plus for R is equal to 2, that will be A raised to minus 1 Z square. For K equal to 3, it will be cube, and so on. Now tell me, is it a geometric series? Is it a geometric series? Come on, in chat box.
Yes, sir.
It is geometric series, and we all know that is a convergent if only if its mod less than 1. So let us take the mod of A raised to minus 1 Z less than 1, and where it converges? It converges to first term upon 1 minus common ratio. So what is the first term here? A raised to minus 1 Z upon 1 minus common ratio, A raised to minus 1 Z. See, common ratio and the first term will not always same, isn't it? So, yes,
1 minus R.
1 minus
1 upon 1 minus R, or is it A upon 1 minus R?
A upon, na? That is what I'm telling, that the see, is it visible? See, if this is a geometric series A plus AR plus AR square plus and so on. So what is the common ratio here? R.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Got
So
it.
this will be a geometric series and converges to what? The first term. This is standard and general result I'm telling. This will be convergent and converges to A upon 1 minus R when mod of R is less than 1. Is it okay? So that is why I'm taking A as a first term. Okay. And in previous also I'm taking A, but there A was 1. Right? So that is why I was writing 1 upon 1 minus common ratio. So simplify this expression. This is A upon Z. This is A upon Z. So when I simplify A upon Z, sorry, Z upon A. So when I take LCM, that will be A minus Z upon A. That will get cancelled to this A. Right? So Z upon A minus Z. Is it okay? Z upon A minus Z. Provided that mod of Z by A is less than 1. So that will be mod of Z less than mod A. Maybe if you take first term to be 1, then that will be AZ. So that is what the mistake. Is it okay? So that will be Z upon A minus Z. So let me write the result again. So Z transform of A raised to K for K negative will be Z upon A minus Z for mod Z less than mod A. Is it clear? Shweta, how will it be A upon A minus Z? A will get cancelled here, na? That will be A minus Z upon A. So here also Z upon A. So this A will be in the numerator. A will get cancelled. Is it okay, Shweta? So that will get cancelled and that will be just Z upon A minus Z. Yes, Shravani, correct. Tanmay, is it clear? You might have taken first term as a 1. That's why you're getting AZ upon. So let us see the answer. I'm sharing the screen again.
Because of minus, it gets tricky.
Yeah. Okay. So this example and this function we are discussing, is it visible? Screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So f of k is A raised to k for k negative. Its Z transform is Z upon A minus Z. You can see here for mod Z less than mod A. Okay. Most of the students are confused in examination while writing the Z transform of this A raised to k. So Z transform of A raised to k will change according to the value of k given. So you have to concentrate on what k given, whether k is non-negative or negative. So always remember for non-negative part, Z transform is Z upon Z minus A and in exterior of the circle. And in negative part, Z transform is Z upon A minus Z, which is convergent only in interior of the circle. Is it clear? With mod Z less than mod A. I hope it is clear now. If still there is any confusion, please ask. You can comment in chat box. I can repeat. Now, here we have a combined result now. Can you try for this? F of k is A to the power mod k. Purposefully, I am not scrolling down. Okay. So f of k is A raised to mod k for all k. Let us try simultaneously. I'll request you all to try this one. This is an interesting, and this will be a tool, remember. Okay. So in examination, it can be asked like this: find the Z transform of 1 by 2 raised to k. See here, find the Z transform of 1 by 2 raised to k, and k is given to be negative. So what will be the Z transform of this? That will be Z upon 1 by 2 minus Z when mod Z greater than, less than 1 by 2. Is it okay? So now you can simplify further. That will be 1 minus 2z. So 2z upon 1 minus 2z. All right. Is it clear to all? So let us find the z transform of a raised to mod k. For all k, it is saying. For all k. For all k means what? K negative and non-negative including. I hope this it is visible here. Okay, so let me stop this sharing so that you can give in full. So let f of k to be a raised to mod k for all k. First of all, let us write the given function in detail with the definition of mod. What is the definition of mod k? What is the definition of mod k? Yes. Let me ask to someone. Anshika Singh, please unmute your mic and tell me what is the definition of mod k. Fast. Yes.
So I cannot recall it, sir.
Mod of k. Whether it is positive or negative.
It's a positive.
Only always positive. Mod k is always positive.
No, sir.
Mod
Okay,
k is
yes,
always
sir. Yes, sir.
okay.
Sorry, sir.
Okay, no problem. Anuj Patil, unmute your mic, please.
Yes, sir.
What is the definition of mod k?
It is positive for k is greater than or equal to 0
If k is greater
and
than
negative for
0,
k
then what
is
is the value?
less than or equal to 0.
Okay, if k is greater
K.
than 0, then the value is k. And if it is less than 0, then
K
value is
minus k.
minus k. Correct. Thank
Minus
you,
k.
Anuj. So this will be the value of definition of mod k. Let us apply this definition here. So our function will be like this. F of k is defined in k positive and k negative part. Okay. So for k positive mod k is k. So our function will be a raised to k. Is it okay? A raised to k, because mod of, if I write mod here, then this mod k is k in k positive. Okay. So that is why I'm writing mod k. And then this mod of k is minus k when k is negative. You can see here. Is it clear now? That is a raised to minus k. So this will be our function. Now let us use this function in the definition of Z transform. I hope the definition of function clear. If it is not clear yet, please comment in chat box. I can repeat. Okay. Please don't compromise. So Z transform of f of k is summation. What is the definition? Infinite summation k from minus infinity to infinity. Yes. F of k z raised to minus k. So let us split, because my function is given in two parts, non-negative and negative part.
Minus infinity to minus 1, 0 to infinity.
I'm thinking about 0 actually.
So it is equal to 0.
I
K
can include
equal-
here, right? I'm including 0 here. I'm taking negative separately. So that will be minus infinity to minus 1 f of k. F of k is defined in negative part to be a raised to minus k, z raised to minus k, plus in positive part. Now positive means not, sorry, not positive, non-negative. K from 0 to infinity, f of k is defined to be 8 raised to k, z raised to minus k. Now for the steps you know very well. To convert these positives into negative, let us substitute k by minus r. So r will vary from infinity to 1. That means 1 to infinity. Okay. Is it necessary to write here that k equal to, let k equal to minus r? Now this is trivially true. Okay. We can change. That will be same. And when I substitute k equal to minus r, then this will be plus, because k is minus r. So minus minus plus a raised to r, and this will be again z raised to r. Both are positive. Please check the calculations. Okay. If you feel any wrong mistake, please let me know as early as possible. Otherwise, we'll solve and then you'll tell that this is wrong. Okay. Summation. Here it is it necessary to replace k by minus r? Is it
No, sir.
necessary? No.
No.
Remember, most of the students are confused actually where to replace. Okay. Why I'm replacing? Because I'm converting. I want to convert these negative positions into positive positions. So I'll need that k equal to minus r in this part only. Okay. I don't want in this part. So let that k as it is. K is from 0 to infinity. A raised to k. I can combine now a z raised to minus 1, the whole raised to k. And here again I'm writing now a z raised to r. Please check. And now vary r from 1 to infinity, and here k from 0 to infinity. You can check, or you can separately consider these two parts. Okay, you can consider this, and then you can consider this, and then those separate results you can combine here. But I'm writing here combinedly. So for r is equal to 1, it will be a z, right? For r is equal to 2, it will be a z square. For r is equal to 3, it will be cube plus and so on. Okay, and this part will be convergent only if what? First of all, tell me whether it is a geometric series or not. Is it a geometric series?
Yes.
It is a geometric series with a common ratio
Is
az,
it?
right? So this part will be convergent only if I'm writing here,
Or is it
only if mod of az less than 1. Clear? Mod of r less than 1. And where it converges? It converges to the first term upon 1 minus common ratio. What is the common ratio? Az plus, okay, this as a ROC part I have written in bottom. It is not in numerator, denominator, remember, huh? This is not in denominator. This is related to this. That is why I written like this. Now, plus for this summation, when we split, it will start from 1, because at k equal to 0, this raised to 0 is 1, plus this raised to 1 is a z raised to minus 1, plus a z raised to minus 1 ka square, plus and so on. So where it converges to? It converges to the first term upon 1 minus common ratio, that is a z raised to minus 1. And when it will be convergent? Only if mod of common ratio, that is, what is the common ratio here? A z raised to minus 1 less than 1. Please check each and every step. Is it correct and clear?
Yes, sir.
All right, so simplify these expressions with the region of convergence and tell me the final answer. Come on, you all. Shweta says az upon 1 minus az plus z upon z. Okay, but Shweta, you have to write the region of convergence. Remember, don't skip the region of convergence. That is very important part. So az upon 1 minus az, provided that mod z is less than 1 upon mod a. Always try to write the condition on mod z so that we can sketch the circle, right? We can draw the circle. And here, what is the simplified part for this? This is a by z, so that will be z upon z minus a upon z, so that will be z upon z minus a, z upon z minus a. Okay, and here mod z
Mod z greater than a.
mod a. Okay, so I'm writing now directly z transform of a raised to mod of k for all k. This is for all k, huh? For all k, will be equals to az upon 1 minus az plus z upon z minus a, where mod z is less than 1 upon mod z is less than 1 upon mod a, and which is greater than mod a. So this will be a combined region of convergence. What it denotes, we have seen actually such kind of regions. We have discussed what it represents, what does it mean, where this Z transform exists. Yes. Prajwal says mod a less than mod z less than, yes, correct. Okay. Are you getting my question? I'm asking, what does it mean? Where this Z transform exists?
Inside
Inside what?
circle.
Is it completely convergent in inside a circle? Okay, if you are telling
Or
inside
on
circle,
circumference.
huh?
Or on circumference.
No. We are not writing in terms of circumference, we are writing in terms of radius. You might have forgotten that result. I have discussed actually. Don't concentrate on this mod a. Suppose a is let's say 2. If a is 2, then let us write the circles. First of all, mod z equal to 2 and mod z equal to 1 by 2. So suppose this is mod z equal to 1 by 2. Okay, the circle with radius 1 by 2. Is it visible?
Annulus, sir.
Yes, annulus part. Now it is clear. And mod z equal to 2. This is half. Okay, and this is suppose mod z equal to 2 radius circle. Okay, so mod z greater than 2, 2 से ज्यादा है. This is not annular actually. Ayush can see here. And mod z less than 1 by 2, तो कौन सा पार्ट होगा बताओ?
Inside the circle.
Inside the circle with radius 1 by 2.
Anti-annulus.
Yes, anti or we can say the complement of annulus part, right? Complement. इसका जो है उसको छोड़ के सब में ये convergent होगा. Is it clear to all?
Yes, sir.
All right, so this is about the function mod z. Sorry, f of k is a raised to mod k. Let me share the screen again. Please ask if any doubt. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Sir, and whatever we write in the last, like mod a less than mod z. So have we write to conclusion that it is outside, or leave it as it is?
No. This examiner already knows this conclusion, that if it is mod z less than something, then that will be interior, and if it is greater than, that will be. This is a global definition, remember, isn't it? So don't need to write. You just need to write the ROC part where it converge. Okay. So this the transform will exist only in this part. This is very important. ROC. Is that clear, Ayush?
Okay, sir.
So here, this is the answer: az upon 1 minus az. That is z upon z minus. Okay, all right. Now the next is trigonometric functions. These are also as a tool we are going to use. If f of k is just like, if you remember, I've used sine of 2k or sine of 3k or sine of k by 2 in some examples when we have discussed the properties like scalar what change in scale, what is the name of property, scaling or something, isn't it? Or multiplication by power of k, division by power of k, or shifting properties, isn't it? In that I've used the sine function, isn't it? So we should know the basic the transforms of sine and cosine functions. Okay, so these are as a tool we are discussing, remember. So please get it clear if you have a doubt. Okay, so if f of k, see, the proof is not important. No one is going to ask that how we are getting the z transform of sine of 2k or sine of ak in here in engineering, but it can be asked in the gate examinations or your IES examinations or even in interviews also. Okay, so you should know basic things, that how we are getting the z transforms, and even the z transform is very important in your further subjects also, like DSP, digital signal processing and all. So this z transform, Laplace transform, Fourier transform, these are very important topics from your ENTC point of view. So please try to get these things. Okay, so how to get, first of all, if we substitute this cos of alpha k in the basic definition of z transform, what is the basic definition of z transform? It is summation, infinite summation f of k z raised to minus k. When I substitute f of k to be cos of alpha k, and when I want to split that summation over those k's, that will be just cos of for k when I'm varying k from minus infinity to infinity, that will be cos of something at minus infinity, then cos of something as plus infinity and in between, isn't it? So that is not possible actually to write that particular value, because cos is varying between 1 and minus 1. We don't know the particular value. All right, so what we can do, we can write the expression for cos in terms of exponential, isn't it? This is very important expression we have used actually in first unit as a Euler's formula. We all know that cos of alpha k or cos of theta can be written as e raised to I theta plus e raised to minus I theta upon 2, isn't it? So that theta, I'm considering it as a alpha k. Okay, so that will be e raised to alpha k, I alpha k plus e raised to minus I alpha k upon 2. Is that clear? This as a formula we are using. Okay, so then when we apply z transforms on both, that will be what? Now, one more thing, here we have given precisely k to be non-negative. Okay, so we have to consider only the non-negative part of the series. Okay, so when I substitute by Euler's formula the exponential expression for cos like this, and when I split, okay, sorry, when I open this bracket over this z raised to minus k, and then when I split the summation over these two terms like this by taking 1 by 2 outside, okay, k varies from 0 to infinity, and when I when I split summation from k to 0 to infinity like this, then that will be a geometric series. This will be also a geometric series with, this is ROC, and okay, for both of these the ratio is e raised to I alpha z raised to minus 1. Okay, that will be less than 1 always. So when I simplified this, I'll get this expression, and then again using the cos self expression, I'll get the simplified expression as a z into z minus cos alpha upon z square minus 2z cos alpha plus 1. Okay, by simplifying, actually simplifying means what? I'm collecting e raised to I alpha terms, and then I'm dividing it by 2, multiplying and dividing, so that that will be just cos alpha. In denominator also that will be cos alpha. So what we need here, and what we'll have to remember further, that z transform of cos of alpha k is always z into z minus cos alpha upon z square minus 2z cos alpha plus 1. Okay, in the range of mod z greater than 1. Is it clear? This is very important, that z transform of cos alpha is this. And when I'm talking about Z transform of sine alpha, then there will be change in only numerator. Denominator will be same. Why? You can try it later as a proof. You can
minus
no, denominator will be same. Z square minus 2Z cos alpha
numerator
plus 1.
e raised to I
In
theta
numerator,
minus.
that will be simply Z sine alpha, nothing else. These terms will, and even ROC will be same. Okay, so that is what the next Z transform of sine alpha k, for k non-negative will be Z sine alpha upon Z square minus 2Z cos alpha plus 1 in the same region of convergence. You can see here. Is it clear? So by comparison, you can remember these two formulas, Z transform of sine alpha and cos alpha. What is the change there? There is a change in only numerators. In sine alpha, the numerator is Z sine alpha, and in cos alpha, k, the numerator is Z into Z minus cos alpha. Is it clear? That is only the change. Is there any doubt with the sine and cos? Please comment if you have a doubt. Now attendance is getting decreased from 60 to 57 now. Okay, so one by one. Don't need to skip. Just we'll finish these standard tools. Any doubt with sine and cos? Hello. Am I audible?
No, sir.
Okay. I am not.
Sir, and I wanted to ask, sir, for exam, portion is still Z transform or Fourier?
Fourier also, na? Of course, Fourier
Sir,
also.
even Z transform are you taking?
Yes, complete. As I said, that I'm going to consider the syllabus up to 28th of this. Okay, because we'll be having examinations from 29th. Okay, so one day before of the examination, whatever we have covered, that I'm going to ask. Don't worry,
Sir,
this is formula based. Don't need to
मतलब इधर तक ही ना सर अभी?
यहाँ तक मतलब आज का लास्ट, हाँ सॉरी, आज का लास्ट लेक्चर है, ये पूछ रहे हो? ओके, यस, यहीं तक मतलब इसके ऊपर एग्जांपल पूछूंगा ना मैं, तो इसलिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि एक आध एग्जांपल हो जाता तो अच्छा होता. देखते हैं एक आध एग्जांपल, फिर रुकते हैं आज. और you have to take me one more lecture. You have to give me one more lecture in this week.
सर आपका प्रैक्टिकल होता है क्या सर?
प्रैक्टिकल तो होता है when you will be physically in college, but वैसे तो हमारा अभी ऑनलाइन में प्रैक्टिकल शेड्यूल नहीं रखा है, क्योंकि प्रैक्टिकल मतलब क्या होगा, वैसे तो हम क्या करते हैं, प्रैक्टिकल को हम ट्यूटोरियल बोलते हैं, और इन ट्यूटोरियल आवर्स आई एम गिविंग 5 to 10 questions and I'm checking whether each student is solving or not, and accordingly I'm giving the marks to each student, and simultaneously I am trying to discuss their doubts also with the students. Single student on a bench was there. Okay, so this is how we have conducted the tutorial, but I don't know this time how the scenario will be. Everything is on probability. Is it clear, Ayush?
Yes, sir.
So the transforms of sine and cos will be, there is a change only in numerator. In case of sine, the numerator will be z sine alpha, and in case of cos, numerator will be z into z minus cos alpha. Denominator will be same, even the ROC is also same. Now let us move towards the hyperbolic functions. Here also the same thing, just like normal trigonometric function, there is change in only numerator. So just look at the numerator. Okay, so I'm not going to discuss the proof of this. So the Z transform of hyperbolic cos alpha k will be, you can see here, where it is. Oh, it is, I think, sine alpha. There is a printing mistake. No. What's the matter? Anyways. And one more thing, if you remember any one of the four formulas, normal trigonometric and hyperbolic functions. If you remember any one, you can write other rest 3 formulas. How? Because if you talk about the z transform of normal cos alpha k, what was that? Z transform is z into z minus cos alpha, isn't it? So instead of cos alpha, you just have to replace hyperbolic cos alpha. You can see here it is hyperbolic cos alpha. In denominator also you have to replace by hyperbolic functions. So this is only the change, and of course change in ROC also. Okay, ROC changes to mod z greater than maximum of these two. Maximum of these two, that is mod of e raised to alpha or mod of e raised to minus alpha, and this is common to both hyperbolic cos and hyperbolic sine. And the same thing we have to do for hyperbolic sine also. What we have to do? We have to replace normal sine alpha by hyperbolic sine alpha and normal cos alpha by hyperbolic cos alpha. That is the change. Okay, so this is the formula for z transform of sine alpha. Okay, you can see here in normal there was z sine alpha, right? And here we have z hyperbolic sine alpha. Am I clear to all what I want to say? This is how you can remember these 4 formulas comparatively, all right, with the same ROC here. Now the Z transform of combination formula NCK or N choose K, I can say, where K varies from 0 to N, all right. So the Z transform of these NCK kind of functions or sequences, I can say, will be 1 plus Z raised to minus 1 N, and this is the proof. You can see here when we vary k, we'll get nc0 which is 1, nc1 which is n, nc2 which is n into n minus 1 by 2, and so on. So I'll get 1 plus z raised to minus 1 to the power n. This is the z transform of n choose k. Okay. For k varying from 0 to n. If I vary from k greater than or equal to n, then there will be change in z transform. So what is the change? The change will be like this. So don't worry, I have shared this PDF to you all. You can see in detail later. Just I am discussing the formula z transform of is it k? Okay, sorry. Here k is greater now, so they have changed the role of k and n. Earlier was z transform of nck, and here it is kcn. Remember. So z transform of kcn will be equals to z raised to minus n 1 minus z raised to minus 1 the whole raised to minus of n plus 1 in the range of mod z greater than 1. Similarly, k plus n choose n, its a transform will be 1 minus z raised to minus of n plus 1. So if we vary this k from 1 to n, then you get the particular result. 13th, z transform of k plus n choose n a raised to k will be 1 minus az raised to minus 1 raised to minus of n plus 1 for mod z greater than mod a. So this is in particular for n is equal to 1, 2, 3 and so on. For n equal to 1, it will be just because for n equal to 1, you can see here, for n is equal to 1, it will be k plus 1 choose n. So k plus 1 choose n का definition आप जानते हो, isn't it? We all know the definition of combination formula. NCR क्या होता है? N factorial upon n minus r factorial into r factorial, right? So with the help of that, I'm getting the value of k plus 1 choose 1 to be k plus 1. Okay. And when I simplified it, I'll get z square upon z minus a the whole square. See, I'm going to use these as a tools, remember. And that is possible only by practice. Okay. So these are the formulas, you can see it later. Here, 14th one is z transform of a raised to k upon k factorial. When k is non-negative, when I split it into summation, and when I vary the summation, I'll get the, see, if you look at this, this is the, this is just like the Taylor series expansion of exponential function. Exponential function क्या होता है? e raised to x का expansion क्या होता है? 1 plus x square by 2 factorial plus x cube by 3 factorial, right? So you can see here it is just like that, where x is a z raised to minus 1. All right, 1 plus x by 1 factorial plus x square by 2 factorial. तो ये क्या है? ये है exponential of e a z raised to minus 1 का expansion. a z raised to minus 1 means a by z. So e to the power a by z. ये है z ट्रांसफॉर्म किसका? a raised to k upon k factorial का. Okay, so these are all the tools actually. 15th, 16th, you can see later, 17th, 18th. Okay, and now here in short they have explained everything. These are the theorems we have discussed, and these are the tools we have discussed, all these tools. Okay, as a standard formulas, and now we can use these tools to discuss the examples. So actually I'm not going to discuss, actually I have already discussed these examples while discussing the properties. Just like here, z transform of 2 raised to, now you can directly tell the answer if you remember those formulas. Z transform of a raised to k kind of functions, for k non-negative क्या होता है? Z upon z minus a, if you remember, and where it converges in the exterior part of the circle, isn't it? Am I right? Hello?
हाँ सर.
Z transform of a raised to k क्या होता है? If k is non-negative, then z transform of a raised to k is z upon z minus a in the exterior part of the circle, right? So here that k have changed to 2. That's it. लेकिन अगर ये एग्जांपल थियरी में पूछते हैं तो आपको बाय बेसिक डेफिनेशन जाना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं कि आपको फॉर्मूला मालूम है तो आप डायरेक्टली फॉर्मूला यूज कर रहे हैं. In that case, hardly you will get the 1 or 2 marks. You will not get the full marks, remember. Why? Because examiner wants to check your concept, isn't it? So he needs in detail the explanation. So that is why here we have used the basic definition of Z transform. But those formulas you can use either in online examinations or computer examinations, right? So these are all the 4 parts based on that property. तो सेकंड इसका क्या होगा? 2 raised to k का, कोई भी बताओ, 2 raised to k का क्या होगा? Z ट्रांसफॉर्म will be z upon
Z upon Z minus 2.
z upon z minus 2, and what is the range? Mod z greater than 2.
2.
Right? इसका क्या होगा? 3 raised to k का क्या होगा?
Z by 3 minus Z.
Z upon 3 minus z, and what is the range? Mod z less than 3, right?
हाँ सर.
Okay. इसका क्या होगा? 1 by 3 raised to k in non-negative part. That will be z upon z minus 1 by 3 when mod z greater than 1 by 3. And इसका क्या होगा? Z upon 1 by 5 minus z when mod z less than 1 by 5. आप सिंप्लीफाई कर सकते हो बाद में, समझ गए? दैट इज बेस्ड ऑन दैट प्रॉपर्टी. आपको
सर 5z अपन 1 माइनस 5z होगा ना?
5z अपॉन 1 माइनस किसका? किसका? 1 by 5 का. हाँ, तो वो सिंप्लीफिकेशन
1 upon 5.
सही है. तो सिंप्लीफिकेशन के बाद मैंने क्या कहा कि 1 by 5 raised to k का k नेगेटिव में क्या होगा? When I substitute this into the formula, that will be z upon 1 by 5 minus z, right? Z upon 1 by 5 minus, तो उसको सिंप्लीफाई करने के बाद वो 5z upon आ जाएगा. Is it clear?
Yes.
हाँ, 5z upon 1
Yes,
minus
sir.
5z. I just have used the formula.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you remember, we have discussed the example of a raised to mod k, right? That is not example, that is a tool we have discussed as a standard function. So this example is just like that. How? In the negative part, this function is defined to be 3 raised to k, and in positive part, this function is defined to be 2 raised to k. So is it now to solve further? Can you solve it? Can you find the z transform of
Yes,
this
sir.
function?
Yes sir.
It's easy, na? Isn't it? Just need to use in negative part 3 raised to k and in positive part 2 raised to k, and need to split those summations. You get always the geometric series, and we all know the sum of geometric series. Most probably in negative part, while splitting the sum, first term will be something which is not equal to 1, and while splitting the positive part, first term is always 1. This is how you can remember. Okay, and you can verify, tally your answer, because habitually we are taking the first term to be 1. That is wrong. Or if we split the summation correctly, habitually we are trying to write the sum as a 1 upon 1 minus r. Remember, the standard sum is not 1 upon 1 minus r. Standard sum is a upon 1 minus r, where a is the first term. Clear? So by combining both the region of convergence, here the z transform will be z upon 3 minus z, z minus 2, when 2 is less than mod z less than 3.
सर वो ऐसे होगा ना फिर वो ऊपर
हाँ, आयुष,
एनुलस होगा
yes, Ayush.
सर वो एनुलस होगा ना वो फिर
Annulus
Two.
होगा, yes. This will be annulus. 2 से ज्यादा and 3 से बड़ा. Sorry, 2 से बड़ा and 3 से छोटा. So that will be annular region between the two circles. Here you can see this will be just like ये example पूछा है actually for 4 marks in earlier pattern. It can be asked for 5 marks in this pattern also. So actually, very less students are attempting these questions on Z transforms, isn't it? But from my point of view, these examples are very easy and can be solvable within short period of time, isn't it? Because if we look at the solution of linear differential equations, then that is lengthier one. Though it is conceptual and easy, but that is lengthier. Instead of that, if you try to attempt these examples, these will give full marks within short time, isn't it? My analysis up to the last pattern that 95% students are attempting the question number 1, which is based on the linear differential equation. In question number 2, of course, linear differential equation is there, but that is the application to electric circuit, and the second part is examples on Z transform. That is the only thing. Okay. So 5% students are attempting question number 5. I'll suggest to prepare both and select the question according to difficulty level in final examination. Okay. You can ask to your seniors also, those who are taking full 100 out of 100 marks, even 125 out of 125 marks, isn't it? They have prepared everything. Everything means whatever I have told them, they have prepared those concepts. Isn't it? Everything means not everything, whatever we have discussed in the class. Okay. So this we can solve by using the property a raised to mod k. The same thing, similar. Okay. Very easy. The transform of f of k, where f of k 1 by k, then a raised to k by k. So these are all the things we have discussed in the last part of the formulas, isn't it? F of k is 1 by k. So by splitting this summation, z raised to minus, this will be not a geometric series, remember. So always we are not getting geometric series while splitting the summation. So this is not a geometric series. So how to consider, how to get its limit, isn't it? Here it is given that by applying D'Alembert's ratio test, it was not there in your syllabus now in 2019 pattern, but in earlier pattern, this was included in M1, that sequences and series. Okay, there these tests were there. So if you look at the expansion of log of 1 plus x and log of 1 minus x, here you can see all the terms are positive, and if we consider z raised to minus 1 as a x, then that will be x plus x square by 2 plus x cube by 3 and so on. If I compare this and log of 1 minus x series, then what can I do? If I multiply by minus 1 to each term, and if I write minus 1 outside, then minus will be plus, and then I can use the expansion of log. So this is nothing but what? Minus of log of 1 minus z raised to minus 1. You can see minus of log, because I have adjusted minus sign there to use this expansion. Okay. So that might be here, but that is skipped. Let me check. Yes, it is minus of log of 1 minus z raised to minus 1, you can see. I'll request you all to go through these examples and let me know if any doubt. I don't think there is a doubt. Okay, this is a raised to k by k. While splitting the summation, this is not again a geometric series, but I can use the log. Again, the same thing, minus of, because all the terms are positive, so minus log of 1 minus x, where x is az raised to minus 1. Very easy. Okay, so this is all about the Z transforms. Okay. In the next week, if there is a lecture, then I'll discuss few more examples, but I'll conclude here now with the Z transforms. Okay. Next lecture, if we have a time, we'll discuss about few more examples, or we'll start with the inverse Z transform. Now, let me clear you that I'll ask the questions up to Z transforms and their applications. Okay. Application means the examples on Z transforms. I'm not going to ask the questions on inverse Z transform. That is the only part remains to discuss. Inverse Z transform questions will not be there on inverse Z transform. Is it clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to stop now. You can ask me your doubts if you have on WhatsApp. I'll solve your queries. Okay, and I'll upload today's video and last 2 videos on the Google Classroom. Those who are not there on Google Classroom, I'll request to them just prepare from the notes I've provided from the blog. Is that it? And if it is possible to get it from get these videos from your friends, get those as early as possible. Isn't it?
सर
Okay, हाँ
सर वो कॉस और साइन के जो एग्जांपल्स है ना सर वो वापस ले रहे हैं
cos and sin का